What's up everybody, Extramillion here once again with Totally Sick Final Fantasy VII Edition, and if you don't understand the initialism that's at the top, allow me to summarize really quick. This is the low-level, no items, initial equipment, no accessories, command materia only challenge, or LLNIIENACMO for short. And I'll go over each of those requirements briefly. The first one, low level, is pretty self-explanatory. No character may exceed a certain level that you set yourself. The generally agreed upon one is level 30. Since I've never done this, I'll try to shoot for that. Hopefully I'll get no one above level 29. The second one, no items. You may never use the item command either in battle or under the submenu in the field menu. So you basically can't use any potions or anything at all, with the exception of the save crystal in the northern crater at the very end of the game. Initial equipment means that you can never use the equip command in the field menu, so you basically are wearing only what the characters start with, which also leads into no accessories, so you're not going to be able to wear any rings or ribbons that prevent any status effects or give you any boost of any kind. Then the final one, which is command materia only, there are 5 types of these gems called materia, and each one is a different color. There's green is magic, red is summon, support is blue, independent is purple, and then yellow is command. The command materia that we will be using is enemy skill, manipulate, death blow, and double cut. Those are pretty much the only ones that we'll ever use, because steal, throw, morph, and W item violate the no item restriction, and mime and slash all you can't get anyway. And also, when the game forces you to equip materia other than the ones that you're supposed to be using, you should basically remove them whenever you can. If you haven't also noticed, this is the original 1997 PC version that has had a bunch of mods Frankensteined onto it, none of which affect the gameplay. They're all purely upgrades or upscales for the graphics and the menu. So once the cutscene ends, you'll get off the train, and then Cloud will be forced to fight the first battle with the 2 MPs. These guys are pretty simple, just one attack each should kill them. Then, after this battle is done, you'll go and meet up with Barrett and the rest of his buddies, Biggs, Wedge, and Jesse, which are the members of Avalanche, the terrorist group that they're part of. You'll get Barrett in your party. Then you'll basically want to move Cloud to the back row so that he takes less damage. And then from here on, you'll basically want Barrett to take the brunt of all the damage. In every fight, you should basically just have Cloud defend and then just run away as soon as you can. So this is a small example of how the fight should go. Just have Cloud defend and then run away, if the game will let you. Don't bother trying to put Barrett in the back row, because you'll have to kill him during the boss fight anyway. So any damage he takes here is good. Since it is low level, you have to basically make sure that only one character is alive at the end of each battle, so that they're the only ones who get experience, because dead characters do not receive experience. So each battle will have a designated character that's supposed to survive, and this one is Cloud. So you'll get to the reactor eventually, and then you'll be able to set the bomb, and then you'll start the boss fight with the first enemy, which is the Guard Scorpion. If you couldn't already tell, this video will go over the first hour or so of the game, and of course that would be really boring to watch since there's no voice acting and it's all text-based, so I will be skipping through most of it, just showing all the good bits. So here's the battle with Guard Scorpion. He's the very first boss. He's pretty simple. He has about 800 HP, and basically he has 2 main forms. The first is his search scope form, where he will just use search scope on an enemy, or on a character rather, and that's the character that he will attack with his next turn. And then after a certain amount of search scopes have been used, he will go into a defensive posture where his tail will go up, and any attack against him in that posture will trigger his counterattack, which is Tail Laser, which does a shitload of damage for this early in the game. So basically right now you can just keep attacking him. Try to enter your attack commands during his attack animation so that you don't accidentally trigger an attack and then he goes into his defense posture and then you're screwed. You'll want him to mostly focus on Barret, but also try to focus on Cloud so that he can get his limit break. Now when he's in this defensive posture, he also gains a 50% damage or defense buff so that your attacks do 50% less. Barret will also gain his limit break Big Shot twice before he dies, so you want to make sure that the Guard Scorpion can survive 2 of those plus a few additional attacks. During this first Tail Laser phase, just defend, don't do anything. Then once he puts his tail down, you can continue to attack him. As soon as Cloud gains his limit break, which is that orange bar below the active time battle meter that's filling up, just have him defend and then have Barret attack for the rest of the time. Once he puts his tail up again, basically just have Barret attack so that Barret will either get his limit break or get himself killed. Either one works. And then have Cloud finish off the battle with Braver. Now I get a little unlucky since I'm always hitting him with a Big Shot when his tail is up, so I don't do quite as much damage. At the end, when I do Braver, he has about 9 health left, so I have to finish him off with 1 more physical attack, but it's not too bad. You basically need to make sure that Cloud has enough health so that he can escape from this place. After you escape, your health is refilled, but until then, you won't be able to restore your health in any way. At the end of this video, we're going to be doing a bit of grinding, which I will obviously skip to the end too. I won't show any of that until the next video. The enemies that you're going to be fighting will be in the train yard, and they're called mono drives. The reason you're fighting them is because they give the lowest amount of XP, so that you can maintain your low level. And the reason we are fighting them is because the way that limit breaks work, which are those special abilities you see that you can use when that meter fills up, the way that they work is there are 4 levels, and generally the 4th level you can only get with a special item, but the other 3 levels, you start with 1, and then you have to use that first limit break you get in a level a certain number of times. Like Cloud has Braver, and if he uses it 8 times, 7 or 8 times, he gets his next level 1 limit break, his second one, which is called Cross Slash. And then the way to get the first level of, or the first limit break of another level, say the first one of level 2, would be to kill a certain number of enemies. Cloud has to kill 160 enemies to get Blade Beam, and then to get the one that we actually want, which is Meteor Rain, he has to kill a total of 320 enemies. Remember when you're getting out of here to save Jessie, obviously, so that she can access all of this stuff for you and help you actually escape. Then you'll escape from the exploding reactor. Then you guys will briefly chat, and Barret will tell everyone to meet up on a train. Before you can rendezvous with them, Cloud gets jumped by a whole bunch of soldiers. Each time they prompt you to fight them, just choose the option that says later. and you won't have to fight them at all. You'll just skip it. Before you do that, though, you'll meet another character that you recruit, Aerith. You can buy a flower from her if you want. Then Cloud's like, I don't have time for this shit, and then just jumps on the train and pieces out. Then he surprises the hell out of the rest of those guys by making a totally awesome entrance. Then you get further into the train, and Jesse shows you some cool stuff, and then Cloud gets all philosophical about the nature of living in the slums. So once you get off the train, you have to go to the Seventh Heaven Bar, which is their hideout, and then you go inside, and Barrett scares the hell out of everyone that's in there, and then Tifa's like, hey Cloud, remember me? We used to be friends as kids, and now I'm all grown up, and I'm super hot. Then Barrett uses his pinball machine elevator, and Cloud tells Barrett that they'd be dead if anyone as awesome as he was fighting them. And then he swags right up to Barrett, and then just gets all up in his grill, and then he just fucks off back upstairs. And then Tifa's like, hey Cloud, remember that childhood promise you made where you got to join Soldier and then you'd help me if I was ever in a bind? And Cloud's like, oh yeah, I guess I remember. And then he takes the payment for the job that they just did and accepts the new mission, and then calls Barrett a moron for not understanding how to use Materia, and skips the tutorial. Then you can go into the tutorial menu, or the Materia menu, and unequip all the materia you have so that you don't gain any bonuses from it. Then you should go to the inn and restore all your health, then save, then start the long, arduous process of fighting these monodrive enemies. This should take you about 2 or 3 hours or so if you're lucky. And that's pretty much it, and I will see you guys next time.